I frigging love Sheva. She's such a great partner, she's always there for me, and really, she's just so frigging smart. I'm so glad the developers of Resident Evil 5 decided to put her in the game. I wouldn't have anyone else but her. You love Sheva, and you love Sheva. Everyone loves Sheva. Little did I know, I'd come to completely hate Sheva by the end of this journey. Hello friends, my name is Dante, and today, I pulled the riskiest gamer move of all time. I jumped into an action-packed game full of guns, rejected all them big boys, and ran into battle with nothing but the clothes on my back, and the fists on my forearms. And also a stun rod. Wait, what? You're saying Resident Evil 5 is impossible to play without guns? I got grenades! I got karate! I can frigging punch boulders, man! I don't need guns. I pulled out my meat saber, put on my kicking shoes, and got straight to work. So, can you beat Resident Evil 5 without guns? Can I pull off such a mad lad move? Let's go on this journey and find out together. So we start the game off in Africa, we see Sheva's thickness, and then we make intense eye contact for 9 minutes straight. I don't know about you guys, but I really like this one. Is it getting hot in here, or is it just me? To get Sheva attracted to me, I knew I had to pull off a real bad boy move and prove that I was the alpha male around town. So I walked up to a group of soy boys and taught them who's boss. How do you do, fellow kids? That's when I began to hear strange noises coming from the bag.
Don't just stand there! Help me! Help! Help!
Oh god, oh Jesus, someone help me! Are you attracted to me yet? Sheva and I got our new weapons, and I completely denied to grab them, but the man wouldn't let us buy unless I did. And no, I wasn't scared of him, okay? I only picked the guns up to progress the story. Little did this man know he'd be epically pranked because the moment I grabbed my gun, I deleted it from my inventory. Then I proceeded to take Sheva's weapon from her, and I deleted it too. You women are always talking about equal rights, and that right there was a steaming hot bowl of equal rights. Wait, I didn't even explain the rules, did I? That'd probably be a good idea, huh? Alright, so basically, we have to get through this game without using a single gun. So what's allowed then? Knives are allowed? Fisting is allowed? Well, the totally wholesome way of fisting, of course. Grenades or any sort of bombs are allowed, and stun rods are allowed. Basically anything that doesn't go boom boom. And no, the flamethrower is not allowed whether you'd call that a gun or not. So really, although this game is absolutely loaded with different kinds of guns and ammo, I can only use 4 methods to dispose of enemies. And, spoiler alert, I played on the hardest difficulty available to me, which was Veteran. Mad Lad alert! Oh, and by the way, in this game, for some dumb reason, you can grab all of the items in the area, quit the game, and come back into it, and you'll have all of the items you had from the last playthrough. Essentially, if you take the time, you can just clone the same item over and over again for as long as you want. This isn't allowed. Alright. So continuing on, we come across our first enemy.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Yeah, he looks fine. Let's just hurry up and leave. Now I know it may seem like a pathetic move, but Sheva and I completely teamed up on the guy. I'm not proud of my methods, but they frigging work. Funnily enough, right after this we came across many jars of ravioli. Right off the bat, I just knew that these guys got it. All it takes to win my heart is a good old can of ravioli. But as much as it killed my soul, I had to destroy them all to make sure these people starved. Sheva and I epically killed the crazy people, ran away from more crazy people, and I told her to kick down a ladder. To be honest, Sheva was starting to get on my nerves. Every time there was a barrel or box around, rather than me naturally exploring and finding them on my own, stupid Sheva would run ahead of me, break the boxes, and take the valuables for herself. I mean, I felt like I was babysitting her and having to constantly watch her and take dangerous things away from her so she didn't hurt herself. But it's okay, I'm sure she's just going through a rough patch. But if you ever try to touch one of my fucking boxes again, I'll kill you. And here we came to the big boy, the slimy boy. I don't know his name. Anyway, here, I thought all hope was lost. How would we defeat this boy without weapons? The run was done and I had failed. Just kidding. I'm not that stupid. We trapped the big boy in the easy bake oven, and although he gave us a little bit of a scare, we ultimately defeated him without guns. Heck yeah! By the way, you might be thinking, geez Louise Dante, what are you spending all of that sweet cash on? And really what I spent my sweet ka-change on was the military vests, stun rods, and a secret little item I didn't know you could buy, but I'll tell you about it later. Here, Sheva and I came across our first obstacle, a big, scary, and obvious tripwire. I was trying to save every grenade I could throughout this run, so those were out of the question. So I took one for the team, made the hard decision, and told Sheva to sacrifice herself for me.
Go!
Okay,
Go!
Roger.
Go!
Roger.
But that stubborn hoe just wouldn't go. Although it would be easy as hell to simply climb under the wire, I threw my body into it, and even though I could feel my spleen being pushed into my intestines, I knew I had made the right decision. As a side note, on veteran difficulty, I can really only take 2 to 3 hits without being killed. But there's a final state I get put into before dying, called the dying state, where Sheva can help me by injecting me with steroids to save my life. And this dying state is what got me through so many different areas without having to use an absurd amount of health. So we ran, shanking all enemies that got in our way, me running headfirst into every tripwire.
My leg!
But then, we came across some adorable doggies. Aw, he's friggin' adorable! Ah! We ran by all the big boys, pulled open the gate, and jumped across the gap to be greeted with the Resident Evil 2 truck driver. One grenade was enough to prove to me that God was on my side. We had ourselves a little got past the spooky boys without so much as a nibble, and had a big problem. I couldn't knife the keys, and because I put all of my effort into my biceps and skipped one too many leg days, I couldn't jump up to grab them. So of course, it was my personal favorite time of the day, grenade time. It was clear to me at this point that knives were useless against Mumbo Jumbo, but luckily, this is when Mike appeared. That's right, I said it. Kirk? Nah man, Mike is where it's at. After a bit of trudging around, Chris being too cool to climb a ladder like a normal person, and a few big boom booms later, we were free to loot the area. Sheva and I double teamed a horde of Ganados with only our knives and somehow survived. And here I came to one of the hardest parts of this challenge. The protect Sheva, but also deal with the chainsaw guy, but also deal with the chainsaw guy's buddies part, or as I like to call it, my life. I truly thought the run was over here. You see, there's a door we need to get through, but unfortunately it's locked. The only way to get through it is for me to boost Sheva across to the next building so she can fight some enemies, get to the bottom floor, and open the door for me on the other side. I mean, not only did my aim suck, but my grenades that were meant to help Sheva actually ended up hurting Sheva. And by the way, grenades were the only way to get through this part since I couldn't jump over and help out, or shoot any guns. I want to point out, this part isn't bad at all on 2 players. As Sheva, 1 player can just immediately run to the downstairs door and open it. But Sheva's shit AI on single player decides it's best to take out all armed, dangerous enemies by itself before coming to open the door. And guess what? She sucks at dodging attacks, and after 2 to 3 hits, she ends up dying and there's nothing I can do about it. I tried this part over and over and over again, failing each and every time because Sheva sucked watermelons, bro. I even tried blowing the door open in frustration at one point, but it didn't work. I even thought of punching the door open, but decided against it. In the end, it was my patience, my skill, and my razor-sharp intelligence that got me through this part. I was eventually able to get in some perfect grenade throws, and Sheva came downstairs at Mach 5 speed to help me out. And yes, I have proof of this exact part on my Dante Ravioli proof channel for all the skeptical boys in the audience. There's nothing I hate more than when people in comments tell me I'm cheating or I'm a fake. I fail a good portion of my challenges, and I always tell you guys where I failed at and why. But I understand that along with all of my smart honeys who watch my videos, yeah, that's right, I'm talking to you, there's also some tards and big dum-dums who stick around on my channel. But like Jesus said, just stab on the haters and turn the other cheek. So here I thought the problems were over, but oh baby, they were just getting started. It was time to roofie the chainsaw guy and take his key without consent. Now, the chainsaw guy by himself isn't that hard as long as stupid Sheva doesn't interfere. Because holy Christ, you wouldn't believe the amount of times Sheva messed my plans up. She was constantly getting hurt, dying, and ruining my goddamn plans to the point that I had to completely babysit her. There was a hatred growing inside of me, but I pushed it down because I knew Sheva could be better. Anyway, like I was saying, the fact that there is a ton of jealous boys surrounding us makes this part difficult. So after failing this part one too many times, I had to look online for help, and luckily, I found the way. If you get the chainsaw guy's attention, yeet your way over to the broken bus and climb up, there's a chance the chainsaw guy will get stuck on it and just stay there. You might be thinking, yeah okay Dante, you have him stuck, but what's the point if enemies keep spawning? Well guess what? Surprisingly, the enemies here don't infinitely spawn. So Sheva and I took the boys out to lunch, cut Magini Man over and over and over again. I still remember his screams of pain. And I was finally able to steal his family jewels. Then there's a cutscene of Chris and Sheva using their guns, but this obviously doesn't count since, you know, it's a cutscene. Wait a minute. I don't have any guns in my inventory. Where'd those come from? We came across some more cute doggies. I found out Chris could say the same depressing line over and over again. One of the crossbower guys randomly helped to blow up a bomb for me. Hey, thanks! I had no choice but to swallow the tripwire like a complete Chad, and we were on our way to the spooky mines. Now, I'm usually not scared of the dark, but being trapped in the underbelly of society with dozens of shirtless men really wakes me up to reality and makes me question why I make the life decisions that I do. We truly do live in a society. I tried killing every last one of the mine dwellers with my knife, but unfortunately, until I got the stun rod, the snake tentacle things were impossible to kill with a knife. So I just had to hold the door like a gentleman, hope Sheva slipped through before I got slapped, and waited for her to finally open the door where we made our swift escape. This next section is difficult to get by without guns, but it's completely doable. I'll just be skipping to the Bat boss battle. This fight was hard as hell. I mean, holy moly, I really had to pull my Bible out for this one. Not only does the Bat do an absurd amount of damage and really mess my day up, but because I'm playing on the hardest difficulty available to me, this sexy beast has a lot of health. But I had a secret weapon up my sleeve. A weapon that was not a gun and was the savior to me during this fight. One circle to rule them all. The proximity mines. Proximity mines aren't guns, and I'm not even gonna defend that. If you think that grenades and proximity mines are guns, you're freaking stupid. Don't forget the title of this video is beating RE5 without guns, not without weapons. Sorry I had to clarify that, I just know some soy boy is gonna bring it up. Alright, so I tried my hardest to big oof the Bat with just my knife, and I was doing pretty well. But unfortunately, this just wasn't efficient, and unless I spent a full day or two on this part, I didn't think I'd be able to pull off such a stunt. I could use the mines around the arena, sure, but there were only a handful of them, and this wasn't enough to send the Bat to hell. I tried this part over and over again for hours, but I just couldn't seem to get it, and I was getting incredibly frustrated. Even with the small amount of proximity mines, this didn't seem very easy at all, and even though I seemed to be nearly perfect with my knifing strategy, it wasn't flawless and I'd always end up making a mistake. I had almost given up. I'd almost thrown in the towel and was tempted to throw myself over the cliff, seeing as I was a complete and utter failure. But I was missing something. I forgot that the little Khajiit had wares if I had coin. And one of the many wares the Khajiit had was proximity bombs. This was game changing. And at first I thought, okay, 1,500 pieces of coin for a single mine? Not the best, but I'll take it. But I was wrong. It cost 1,500 coins for 5 mines. This may seem unimportant to you, but this essentially meant that throughout the rest of the run, I could have an infinite number of mines with me, or at least as many as I could carry. I told the knife to go frick itself, place down an absurd amount of mines, and every time the dummy would trigger one, I'd immediately run up to its egg sac and start stabbing. It felt good. And to my surprise, the Bat finally decided it had taken enough explosions and chip shops, and it bounced out of there. Chris, don't! Chris! 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 Wow. Chris is actually a douchebag. And where do you keep getting those guns from? Do you shove them up your ass? Some random guy pulled up, we hopped in his car, and we drove off into the sunset. Now, because this is such a long journey, I've had to split this video up into 2 parts. Can we get through this journey without using a single gun? Will Wesker be able to handle his new shock therapy fetish? And will I finally be hitting a whammon for the first time ever on this channel? All of these questions and more will be answered in the final episode. Subscribe for part 2 and click that notification bell, or else you pretty well aren't subscribed to me. Just make sure you click that bell. I make new gaming challenge videos every week, so you don't want to miss them. Thanks for watching, check out the other gaming challenge videos on my channel, and I'll see you, thick boys, in part 2.